A 6-week-old baby died in Tennessee yesterday.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. We're not going to do that. We're going to, I'm only give you audio because of YouTube's policy. I don't want to show the newborn and get my comment section disabled. So I'm going to show this image as I play the audio. I'm showing this image because the dog that killed the 6-week-old was a husky. And a lot of people, a lot of dog lovers like huskies.
Yesterday after the family dog attacked the newborn while he was asleep in his crib. Reporter Sam Luther spoke with the newborn's parents about their message to others.
Being his mom was the biggest honor and the best thing I have ever done.
6-week-old Ezra made Chloe and Mark Mansour first-time parents. It's what they've always wanted. They loved and cared for their son every day. With 2 dogs in the house, with no history of aggression, they never imagined there would be a fear for their child's safety. While Ezra was taking a nap in his crib, the family's husky that they owned for 8 years out of nowhere attacked.
And to just bring awareness that it can be any dog at any time, completely unprovoked, no matter what the history is.
In the midst of tragedy, this family hopes others can take a closer look at how to keep their children safe as they now think back to every precious moment they had with their son.
Really don't take anything for granted, even if it's a moment that you're annoyed in the moment or frustrated. All of those little moments are still so amazing.
This family decided.
Okay. Now there's a lot going on in this news report. We've heard this type of story, several times. But one thing that sounded strange was how she described the moments or the time she spent with her newborn. As, what did she say? Annoying?
That it can be any dog at any time, completely unprovoked, no matter what the history is.
In the midst of tragedy, this family hopes others can take a closer look at how to keep their children safe as they now think back to every precious moment they had with their son.
Really don't take anything for granted, even if it's a moment that you're annoyed in.
A moment that you're annoyed in. He said that she is going to describe the precious moments that she had with her newborn. And then once the mother starts talking, the first thing she mentioned is being annoyed. Why would you remember? The only reason you'd say that is if you were truly annoyed. Now, some people are not built to be parents. Maybe she's one of those people. Maybe, maybe not. I'm just listening to what she's saying. She said the moments that you're annoyed in, okay?
Had with their son.
Really don't take anything for granted, even if it's a moment that you're annoyed in the moment or frustrated.
Moment or frustrated, annoyed or frustrated. It makes you want to ask her, so, are you talking about yourself? That's what it sounds like. Sounds like she's talking about the moments that she spent with her newborn. And newborn was only six weeks old. So I don't know. Listen, I've read a lot of comments online from parents who just flat out said, I hate being a parent. They're online talking about how they hate being a parent and they regret it so much. Just do a search. So I consider the possibility, that this young lady could have been one of those people.
All of those little moments are still so amazing.
This family decided to
You know, as if all that she remembers is how frustrated and annoyed she was. But saying, hey, cherish those moments as well. Okay. Like, what good moments? Do you remember any good moments? Why not mention those? That's what I would expect. You know, I would just like with anybody. Say your husband or wife dies. Of course you got some bad memories of them. But would you really bring them up if they died and, you know, this is the first time you've been interviewed about their death? I don't know. This seems strange to me. Suspect.
Still so amazing.
This family decided to help other families through organ donation. As they process this tragedy, they say working to save the lives of others has given them much needed peace in a time of grieving.
Working to save the lives of others, how? How?
Pray for all the family, really. Everyone loved him so much. I know that everyone's grieving right now. We're grieving right now.
See, when you say stuff like that, I'm curious. I truly want to know. How? What are you doing? You know, as a person that's involved, you know, we're involved in that field as well. That's why I'm curious. But she doesn't say anything. She does not specify anything.
Pray for all the family, really. Everyone loved him so much. I know that everyone's grieving right now. We're grieving right now. And I know it's going to be a lifelong process of trying to work through this.
Okay, I didn't hear how she's helping to save lives at all. Strange reporting. Now that's one outlet. Here's the other. Again, my apologies. YouTube has a policy. They will disable your comment section. So I can only have audio in this
Knoxville
presentation.
delivers us some pretty tragic news after they say their 6-week-old son has died after an attack by the family dog. Our Sam Luther joins us now. Sam, this is a story we know many have been following for a few days now.
Yeah, Will, the family sharing updates now for almost a week. Just before we were set to speak with them today around 3 o'clock, they got word that 6-week-old Ezra had died. Tonight, they're hoping other families in East Tennessee are able to take something away from this tragic story.
Being his mom was the biggest honor and the best thing I have ever done.
6-week-old Ezra made Chloe and Mark Mansour first-time parents. It's what they've always wanted. They loved and cared for their son every day. With 2 dogs in the house, with no history of aggression, they never imagined there would be a fear for their child's safety. While Ezra was taking a nap in his crib, the family's husky that they owned for 8 years out of nowhere attacked.
And to just bring
Taking a nap. That's probably the biggest part of the story. Because the dog couldn't have been provoked in that moment. Couldn't have been provoked. We know there was no ear pulling. There was no tail pulling. There was no teasing. There was no territory aggression. Newborn was not mobile. There's a lot of things you can cross off the list with the information they provided. There's no way this was fear-based. Not possible. Had nothing to do with anxiety. So what was it? This was predatory behavior. This was bloodthirst. Straight up bloodthirst. And this is the case with every attack. Especially when it's a young victim.
awareness that it can be any dog at any time, completely unprovoked. no matter what the history is.
In the midst of tragedy, this family hopes others can take a closer look at how to keep their children safe as they now think back to every precious moment they had with their son.
Really don't take anything for granted, even if it's a moment that you're annoyed in the moment or frustrated.
My goodness. My goodness. That does not sit well with me. Okay, it's just a strange way to describe, the time you spend. It's only 6 weeks. It's like asking, hey, what do you remember from that 6 weeks? And this is what she says.
Tonight, a family from Knoxville delivers us some pretty tragic news after they say their 6-week-old son has died after an attack.
Best thing I have ever done.
Okay.
6-week-old Ezra.
So we got pretty much the whole story here. Now, y'all know my thoughts on this. It's just like with any other case or story. I'm always suspicious about this GoFundMe hustle. That's one. Two, in line with the endangerment laws, there's no way that the threat didn't cross their mind. It crosses the mind of every dog owner. You're in the hospital, you have a newborn, you're on the way home. Don't tell me you don't think about how the dog is going to react or respond. The first thing you think about is, will this dumb dog attack the newborn? Should we put the dog away? That'll be the first question. Should we put the dog away? How long should we keep the dog away from the newborn? I believe each and every parent has that discussion, and they make the conscious decision to trust the dog. And with this case, there's even more motive for them to trust the dog. That motive is they've had the dog for 8 years. Had the dog for 8 years. A lot longer. Okay, that's a lot longer than they had the newborn. So they saw it more as a case of the newborn being the newcomer. They looked at it as the husky, the dog, getting a new sister, getting a younger sister. So there was no way they wanted to get rid of the dog. They didn't even want to go one night, I can't say one night. 6 weeks old, I would imagine they have had the newborn there. That's another thing. All the time that the dog spent with the newborn without attacking. So all those moments the dog spent with the newborn and didn't attack, I can almost guarantee you those moments were interpreted as the dog being affectionate and accepting of the newborn, when the whole while what was going through that dog's worthless mind is the opportunity to strike. How about that character? How about that character that dogs have? Those moments where the dog was around the newborn and didn't attack, I can almost guarantee you they were seen as sweet moments, but you know what they were? They meant nothing to the dog. Nothing. And the same goes for every other dog on the planet that has ever been seen in a video or a photo with a young person. Those moments mean nothing to those dogs, and they will strike any one of them in a heartbeat and not think anything of it. I feel like that's the reality that dog owners need to face up to. Shout out to Barat in the building. Said these two don't care. You can tell it's all fake emotion. They should both be charged with murder, maybe even first degree upon investigation. I was not convinced by their emotions either, and as always, I did not see any tears. Did not see any tears coming from the face of the mother or the father. That's noteworthy. That's noteworthy. Crazy. Now, about them being charged under the endangerment laws. I mean, look them up. Don't tell me that a dog doesn't qualify. Oh, yes, it does. So she let the dog do what it did. You can tell by their fake emotions, right? I got the sense that they knew that they did something that they shouldn't have. You could sort of like see it in their face, in their eyes. Gave me the feeling that they tried to introduce the newborn to the dog. Something they knew was risky. Shout out to Gerard the King in the building. Yeah, not a word against dogs. Not even the slightest warning against parents with newborns. It's like, hey, the only thing she should have said is, hey, if you got one of these dogs, do not bring your newborn around a dog. And left it at that. She couldn't even say that. They've taken an oath to never speak against dogs. Wow. Yeah. I did not get any sense that they were shocked, that something happened that they never expected, or something that never crossed their mind. That's really the sense that I got. You knew this was possible. You took the chance anyways. But the crazy thing is, nothing's going to happen. They're going to be treated like victims, and they've probably already started a GoFundMe. Can't make this up. So I'm going to publicize this. Be on the lookout very soon. I'm going to get my weekend started here. Got some work to do with a few projects. Hope you all are able to join me as we continue with this crusade.